Today I'm taking a look at the cr78, a relatively recent offering from MXL. It's a side address condenser microphone introduced in this form in 2023. The MXL e-commerce website states, "New from MXL is the cr78 large diaphragm professional condenser upgrade to our world-famous 990 home studio microphone." So it seems to be a reissue, common for MXL. Welcome to the cabin. It's cold here in the Midwest, so you might hear a pop or two from the fire. Please forgive. I was introduced to the cr78 by Hank over at Free Podcast Tools. A link to his video is in the description, and here's the QR code. The cr78 uses a medium diaphragm condenser capsule on the small side, but is marketed and sometimes advertised as having a large diaphragm. As you may have heard me say before, there's absolutely nothing wrong with small and medium diaphragms. Actually, they're often preferred, especially in capturing the detail of sound effects, some vocals, and acoustic instruments, where clarity really matters. If you're used to dynamic mics and switch to something like this, you'll immediately notice how much more nuance is recorded. Subtle breaths, string noise, room tone. It's all there for better or worse. Regardless, if and when you change mics, your mic techniques will likely need to adjust. This also may include distance to the source and placement in the room. At the time of this recording, you can still order this microphone directly from MXL for $37.99. Again, link in the description, and here's the QR code. The cr78 is okay, as a new offering to a long line of other similar mics from MXL. You can't really argue with the e-commerce price if you don't have a mic or want to pick up a budget microphone. Other sites have it at a variety of prices, as much as $169 US. For that much, I would pass and grab a used AKG or Shure. As far as the sound, the cr78 leans fairly neutral with a slight bump in the upper presence range, just enough to help a vocal or acoustic performance without needing to add a shelf EQ. It doesn't seem to be overly hyped or brittle, but that will be source and SPL dependent, so your mileage may vary. And I'm just talking, so it seems okay, but I'm not a tenor, and I'm not singing or shouting. For speech, the low-end response seems to be warm, doesn't seem too boomy, and it avoids the overly boosted mid-range that some similarly priced condensers suffer from. If you're recording in a treated room, or even a relatively quiet space, the cr78 should be fine, but like most condensers, it's not going to ignore the noise from your HVAC, or the neighbor's dog, or their wood chipper, so placement and environment still matter. You'll need phantom power, and handling noise is what you'd expect from a condenser, so a shock mount is a good idea. The mic's max SPL and other specs are missing from the manual and online specifications, so no matter what reviewers might say, I would be suspicious. I say that for a variety of reasons, so I'll explain. MXL mics are often generally thought of as a good entry-level microphone, often sounding better than their cost would indicate, so that's a good thing. But my personal problem is with the potential disinformation in the marketing of some of their mics, including the cr78. It seems that they just leave off specs they don't want us to know. I don't know if that's true, but it feels misleading. They know what the diaphragm diameter is, so why not publish it? Because many buyers, including myself, find that information interesting. But it's missing, as is the max SPL, not in the manual and not on the webpage. Another unfortunate oversight are the graphics on the webpage for the cr78. If you open the graphic of the polar pattern in a new tab or save the image, it's labeled the V67G. Now, I doubt these mics have identical polar patterns, as the capsules are very different. Likewise, if you open the frequency response graph of the cr78 in a new tab, or download it, it is labeled as the MXL 440. This makes a bit more sense, as these mics have some similarities, but this mic is referred to as the upgrade to the world-famous MXL 990. So what gives? I don't get it. I don't regret buying any of the MXL microphones I own, and I wish MXL, and by extension, Marshall Electronics, success, but these omissions and shortcuts undermine consumer confidence. It would be great if MXL mics had the reputation of their other high-end products, Mogami, to name just one. If you are unfamiliar, Marshall makes a wide range of very impressive and sophisticated electronics, so they know better. Maybe the corporate attitude is that those knowledgeable about microphone specifications are not or will not buy MXL products, and that could be. And that means they are resigned to being a budget, beginner brand. If you're still here, what do you think? And as is my custom, I'm using the cr78 to record this. Thanks for stopping by. If you found this useful or interesting, you know what to do, and I thank you. Peace.